Okay, back for another session. Let's see what we have on the docket. Okay, so what's going on? What's going on today? Let's see. No news. There's no news today. But let's see if there's any minor news like this. Okay, Trump U.S. to impose tariffs. That's one. That was actually this morning, New York's or last morning during New York session. That affected price, and I'll get to that in a bit. So nothing to worry about. No news. Yeah. Let's check the morning wrap. Let's see what we got going on. And yeah, this was from the 7th. During New York session, Trump announced that the letters regarding tariffs will be delivered. So they did get delivered, and it did what I thought it would do. It increased the dollar, which weakened the euro, and we'll see that on the charts. Let's go to the latest morning wrap. Let's see what's going on this morning. Actually, what's going on with Tesla? I keep hearing about Tesla. Tesla dropped 6% due to Musk's political ambitions. Okay. Trump imposes new tariffs on Japan. USD JPY surges. So it's looking like the tariffs that Trump is implementing is doing great for the dollar. You know, USD JPY went up, Euro USD went down, so it's showing strength in the dollar. So that kind of gives us an indicator of where this week will go with Euro USD. But you never know; things always change around the world. So something could pop up midweek, or you know, going back to Forex Factory, one of these red folders could one of these red folders will affect the price of the dollar. So maybe in a negative way, who knows? But right now the dollar is looking very, very strong. So let's see. Indices across the Asian Pacific region are gaining during the second session of the week, with increases ranging from 0.30 to 0.90%. Trump stated that the August 1st tariff implementation date is not 100% certain, backtracking from previous, more decisive statements. This marks another shift following earlier postponements from April 9th to July 9th and then to August 1st. While this provides more time for negotiations, it also extends the period of market uncertainty. Markets responded with the US dollar's weakness, and the USD index is currently down 0.2%. Okay. So just more Trump news. Man, this guy really runs headlines. This guy. He loves the news. He can't stay out the news, man. And it shows in the markets. Sometimes in a good way, though. Sometimes in a really positive way. But, yeah, a lot of Trump news. Let's see. Trump announced the need to send more defensive weapons to Ukraine, marking a shift from his previous stance of limiting support. He expressed disappointment with Putin and the ongoing war, signaling worsening relations following the BRICS summit. Okay. Taiwan has not yet received formal notice from the U.S. regarding new tariffs, although a 32% tariff was announced back in April. Man, he's smacking cats with tariffs left and right. Trump also declared that Iran will not become a nuclear state and announced planned talks, warning that a new military strike remains possible if necessary. That's crazy. Iran will not become a nuclear state. Says who? Like sometimes I read these headlines and I just shake my head. Seriously, I just shake my head. Like this is called imperialism. Get me? Imperialism is when another country extends their power into another country. Doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. Let's go into the land of the charts. Let's see what's going down. Let's see what's going down. Okay. Let's see. I actually do want to come back to the New York session and just kind of recap because I was looking at this trade. I was looking at price after I got stopped out, and I kind of noticed some things about myself when I rewatched my session from this morning. It just looked like I was very impatient towards the end because I do trade from 6 to 8, but my window is from 6 to 9. So if I don't find something like closer to 8, I kind of just take a trade. And I hate that I do that, but I'm very aware of that. But my bias was right with Euro USD this morning. We did eventually make our way to the downside, and we did end up grabbing liquidity here and also grabbing liquidity here. We did not manage to get this last bit of liquidity, but the analysis overall was spot on. It was pretty accurate. Let me actually replay to let's replay this thing to about right here. I believe it's where I got into the trade and where I got stopped out of. So I can delete this for now. So I believe I put, here it is. This is what I look for in the market, right? I ask myself, what phase of the market am I in? And what is the liquidity phase? So I have to find out where I'm at in each phase, liquidity phase and market phase. So here, let's see, hopefully everyone can see this. We had the unintentional movement, right? If we're talking liquidity phase, we had the unintentional movement, we had the sweep of these lows, and then we had market reveal itself. And this is not the biggest move, but it moved to the upside. You know, it showed that it still wanted to go higher pretty much. And then we had the same thing happen again here. Unintentional movement, sweep of these highs, and then market went down. So this was the reveal of market intent, and then it happened again. So this is the cycle that happens. It just happens throughout the throughout price. This movement just happens time and time again. So here we are back again. Unintentional movement, liquidity sweep, and this is actually where I entered, which is crazy because I'm getting swept. Like if you look at the steps, right? Unintentional movement and then a sweep. I just got swept. When I look back at the video, I noticed that price had to sweep these highs here and also these highs here. Like nothing came and swept these highs. So price ended up sweeping these highs up here and then revealing that its intent to go up. And around this time, this is actually when I was supposed to start. This is actually when I should have got into the market. So we had our unintentional movement again. We had our liquidity sweep, and then we had our reveal of market intent. So now you want to look at the market phase, right? We get the reveal of market intent. Now we're looking for confirmation of internal structure through change of character and BOS because we want to go down. That's our bias, was to short the market. So here, as you can see, bang, here we have our first change of character. It's a change of character because this higher low did not make a higher high. So it switched up on us. Instead of respecting market structure, this big candle came and made a low. So this changed the character. So in the market phase steps, you can see now we're at step 2. So we have our change of character, but we're still waiting on that break of structure. So the break of structure will occur like right here. This higher low is what needs to be broken. So that it gets broken. And now we want to look at that high that caused that break of structure, and it was right here. So this candle right here, let me zoom in. Okay, this is better. So this candle caused, you can also say this was a change of character, but this one's a little bit more clean. So this candle here caused this change of character and this break of structure. I'll put this this break of structure line right here. This was the high that led to this low, right? That broke this structure here and also here. So now what we wanted to do was find our supply zone. So this was our significant zone, and it's significant because it led to something. It led to a break of structure. So now that we have our confirmation of internal structure through change of character and BOS, we wanted to wait for the completion of the retracement. So we wanted to see price come down and then retrace back up here. And this is where we wanted to sell. So as you can see, price doesn't tap us in yet. Bang. So at 9, I wouldn't have taken this trade, honestly. But I would have taken it right here because we're still in this 1 minute supply zone, and this was at 8 o'clock. So if I were to short this market, right, this would be my entry right here because now we're at the completion of the retracement. It retraced back into our 1 minute supply zone. So we call this what's the word? A mitigation. It mitigated our 1 minute supply, and I would have, well, the right move was to take the entry from here. Let's say 4 pip. Let's say 4 pip stop loss. 5 pip. Let's say 5 pip stop loss just to cover this high up here. And then what we wanted to do was aim for these liquidity points. So this is a 22 pip move, but usually I like to aim for 30. This was also another target, but that's 50 pips. I usually don't even, let me move this. I usually wouldn't go for 50 pips. I would go for 30 just because that's like that's half of the daily range. So as you can see, we hit 30 pips, came back down, and eventually we got to the 50 pip range right here. So this would have been a really nice trade, you know. Unfortunately, you know, I did get in a little too early. I got in when market was sweeping these highs, and I just happened to be part of that sweep. I entered without any confirmation of the internal structure, which was right here, and I kind of mentioned that in the stream that I kind of just took a trade, thinking that you know I would catch that I would catch the move downwards from here, but you have to wait. You have to follow your strategy, and I failed to follow my strategy in New York session, but it's part of the process. So all good. We move forward. No sweat. All good. So let's see where price is at now. Let me hide all this. So I'm starting, let's see. I'll start at the weekly. And we can still see that nothing's really changed. Market is still externally it's bearish, right? You can see price is making these highs, a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, equal lows, another, and then we have you can say this is a higher high, higher low, higher high, but it's still really a lower low because it didn't break up here. So we can just say this is a lower high, led to a lower low, some consolidation here, and yeah, just bearish movement. So this on the monthly, and then I'll drop down to the weekly, and in the weekly, nothing really changed. Externally, yes, we are bearish. Internally, we are bullish. So just got to keep that in mind. And I can drop into the daily. What do I see on the daily? What is the trend? It's looking like price is making this movement to the downside. And I'd say there's liquidity down here, liquidity over here as well. So that's just something to pay attention to. Drop down to the 15-hour. Yeah, you can still see prices making bearish intent. Drop down to the 4-hour. So nothing's really changed. Just kind of going over the strategy again, or not the strategy, just going over the directional move, my bias. I'm still looking to short, just looking at the higher time frame. Higher time frame always has more precedence, you know what I mean. The higher time frame has more pull when it comes to direction. If I was to look at the 1 minute, I wouldn't look at the 1 minute and say, okay, the 1 minute is showing bullish intent, so we're pretty much going bullish. If the 4 hours is showing bearish intent, you get me? So you always want to go follow the higher time frame because that has more data. It has way more data. So 4 hour, let's see, let me hide all these drawings. It's just looking like market is doing this. It's making a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's what it looks like to me. Right now, you can kind of see market structure here. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. I'll just move all this to the side. But so it looks like we're getting to this lower high here, and what we want to see is some unintentional movement, liquidity sweep, reveal the market intent, the change of character, the BOS, and then the retracement back to that 1 minute supply, get a mitigation of that supply, and enter. It's really that simple, but like I mentioned earlier, 80% of this is really waiting for that setup to occur. 10% buy, 10% sell, 80% waiting. So I go down to the 1 hour, and in the 1 hour, I always like to set my vertical line. That lets me know, hey, I'm in the market. So from midnight to 3 a.m., really that's my trading window, but I like to trade between 12 and 2. I usually can find a setup at like 1 o'clock. Most times, 1 a.m. Then I want to drop down to, let's say, the 45. We can see this here is the Asian session, this gray box here. We'll delete this. We don't need this right now. And I can delete this because this has been swept. I like to really clean up my chart. I don't like too much stuff on it. So just erasing what I don't need right now. Okay, 45. You see the Asian range here. That Asian high just got swept. So we can see we had our unintentional movement, our sweep, the reveal of market intent. Okay. So I'll drop down to the 15. On the 15, I like to look for liquidity. So here is some liquidity. And liquidity is just like fuel. It's just like fuel, and price is like a vehicle. So in order for price to move, it needs to come collect the fuel. That's the best way I can explain it. Let me move this to the right. I'll do it. There's another liquidity point right here. And then also this Asian low is another liquidity point that has not been swept. Excuse me. So far, I like how price is moving. I want to see my unintentional movement, which I can kind of see here. I'm on the 5 minute, but I can see it forming right here. I can see sweep of the highs, and then most likely that the reveal of market intent is going to happen. So even here, you see the same thing. This could be unintentional movement. So this is Frankfurt session. We had an unintentional movement here. Unintentional movement. Then we had our sweep of the highs. And then our reveal of market intent right here. And if I go down lower time frame, you can see it a little bit more clear. The unintentional movement, the sweep of these highs, and then the reveal of market intent. And So this we can also call this an extension. The reveal of market intent. I kind of just use those two interchangeably, extension and reveal of market intent. So the extension doesn't need to be that big. You know, it could be small like this, and still count as an extension. So now we're just we're just following our plan. We're waiting for that unintentional movement, the sweep, the reveal the market intent. We're looking for a change of character, a break of structure, and then a completion of the retracement to our 1 minute supply zone. We want to see price come and mitigate, and then pretty much market should reveal itself at that point. So we'll just be patient with this and see what's going on. So you can see market is still making these it's keeping market structure. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Higher low, higher high, higher low. And then I'd be interested to see what happens here. If it fails to make a higher high, we really want to pay attention to that, because this could be forming unintentional movement. It could be sweeping this low, and a liquidity sweep is also a change of character. So liquidity sweep is also classified as a change of character. And usually when that happens, the break of structure is not too far away, and then that break of structure will give us it should leave us a footprint of where price could potentially like come back and retrace. So I'll let it play out for right now. Market structure is looking good. I'm not too worried. Just wait and see. Yep. Yeah, last week was a very, very weird week. A lot of wars going on. End of the month really was just the wars that was making price go crazy. So I didn't really do well last week, but this is a new week, and starting fresh. Had one trade today. That I just went over. So I do have one loss this week, but it's all good. All good. So let's look at the 4-hour. Kind of see where we're at with this. So price is currently bullish, but the overall direction is bearish. Price is just in this leg right here. Okay, actually I already marked it out. Let me move this here so I can focus on that. price is just right here, and it's doing this. It's going up. So it's creating higher highs and higher lows on this second leg for it to come right back down. So we want to wait for this. We want to wait for the confirmation of internal structure. We want to see the change of character and break a structure right here. That's going to give us clear sign that price is going to make the leg downward. So make a new leg downward. So we'll wait and see. But also price could just be making higher highs and higher lows and coming to grab this liquidity up here. But just based off the fundamental news, the dollar strengthening, it'd make more sense for the euro to keep to be bearish this week. But we can look at GBP USD, see what that's doing. Like I mentioned, these pairs pretty much mirror each other, and it's looking like let me see. This is a nice zone here. So if this breaks, let's see. If this, I mean, it'd be interesting if this broke and then kept pushing, because then that would mean like the dollar is actually not as strong as I thought it was gonna be. But overall, GBP USD is bearish. Let's look at the dollar index. So this is showing us the strength of the dollar, and the dollar index is looking like it's making these higher highs and these higher lows down here. It did break structure right here, but doesn't always mean that this is gonna price is now bearish just because it broke structure here, because really these are more like important higher lows here and here and here. This could also be just because there's a gap here, so anytime there's a gap in the market, price has to come back and fill it. So this kind of is showing me that the dollar does want to come back to fill this gap and keep going. Let's see what gold's doing. Yeah, I'm not gonna really pay attention to too many charts. Just wanted to just look at that real quick. So with Euro USD, I'm just gonna keep an eye out. Looking like we have a lot of bullish momentum. So we'll wait. Just gotta wait. Because this will also be a no trade session. Not every day you're gonna find your setup, but the important thing is just showing up every single day and hunting for your setup, because it's gonna show itself. It always does, but you have to wait. Like I said, it's really a waiting game. So price is still pushing. We have another unintentional movement, sweep. Now you can kind of say this is reveal market intent. Unintentional movement to the downside, sweep again, reveal the market intent. This is all unintentional movement. So this here should be swept, because this is not really like breaking anything. It's just kind of moving, so I want to pay attention to what's going on over here. If these can get swept to the downside, we can look for maybe an opportunity, but everything has to come together. Just because it sweeps These lows doesn't mean it's a valid entry point. Let's see what's going on with this account. Cool. Okay. Minimize this. Yep. So price is still headed to the upside. Let me see what's going on in the higher time frame. If I can see. This is nice. So this was a trend line that I marked out earlier in the New York session. It's looking like price did come and sweep most of these highs up here, which is good to see, you know, because it's getting fuel to do something. So it's not gonna, price is not gonna just come here and sweep all these highs and sweep all these highs here just for it to make a small move. It's getting all this gas to go far. So we gotta be patient. We gotta see what it wants to do. Because we have liquidity here, and also we have liquidity down here that needs to be swept. Yeah, that needs to be swept. And then you still have this Asian low, this liquidity point here, and then all this liquidity below us. So maybe price is coming here to collect all this liquidity up here, and then make its way back down. Because still, the overall direction is still bearish, even though we are bullish right now. This is just on the 15 minute time frame. But if I were to scale up to the hour, you get a better picture of the overall direction of the market. You know, overall we are still bearish. But price has to move up before it can come down. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. But buyers are definitely in control. Let's see if I can find maybe a supply zone that I missed. So this is a nice zone. I'd say like here. Let's see if I can find something more clear. That's a little bit like too choppy for me. Here would be a nice 4-hour zone that I could see. I like this here. This is like a 4-hour supply. Oof, what's going on? Must be nice, like a nice 4-hour supply. Yeah, definitely. Like something like this. And drop down to 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you can see like when price gets here to this zone, it makes these big moves. So sometimes it makes big moves to the downside, big moves to the upside. And like you can see these candles here, these are big candles, these are institutional candles. So this is showing me that when price does get into this zone, big moves tend to occur. So now that we have current price coming up to this zone, I just want to see how it reacts to it. Does it blast through this zone, or does it get rejected? And does it make the does it give us signs that it's gonna come back down? So I'll drop down to the 45. Let's see, just keep scaling down. So it's gonna be interesting to see what price does here. Let's see. Have our unintentional movement, our sweep, reveal the market intent. Yeah. Well, this market structure is really nice, but this is all unintentional movement right here. So we had our sweep. We swept these highs. Maybe we come sweep these lows, and that gives us our extension to the downside. And yeah, we'll wait and see. Right now, it's looking like price is acting kind of different. It's looking like it's making making unintentional movement again. Some intentional movement right here, a sweep. And maybe it does break through this zone, we'll see. It could possibly, it could also break through and retest this zone and just keep pushing up. But I'm not really looking to buy. I'm not really looking to buy anything. Yeah, just gonna leave it here. I'll see what price does. Just gonna wait and see what's going on. Man, why do I have so many tabs open? Okay, 15-minute candle. It's looking like it's slowing down. Oh, man. Tuesdays, I be feeling like I gotta work 16 hours. And my 9 to 5 and my 5 to 9. You know what I mean? Like I was saying last week, gotta have a 5 to 9 after that 9 to 5. That's the thing. You get off of work and you just be like, not tired, but you start to feel it, like less energy, but it's all good. You get used to it after, I think after 21 days, like good habits are formed or something like that. So, and bad habits can get broken. If you go without doing a bad habit for like 21 days, pretty much good. Same thing with good habits. So I'm treating this as that. If I can stream, and I don't stream every day, if I can keep consistent with my streaming schedule, I'm in good company, as they say. Inshallah. Okay, what can we see here? Let's pull up that zone again. Let's see what happened with the price. So, what time is it? Almost 1. Go to the 1 hour. What can we see? Yeah, this is a strong candle still. Still. 15. But the 15 doesn't look as strong. So this closes in 3 minutes. Let's see what it does. So this is kind of like an indecisive candle. If it closes like this, that just means buyers and sellers are kind of like in the middle. They're like in a tug of war. You can see sellers try to move down the market a bit, buyers move down the market, but they met in the middle. So at this point in the market, you don't want to sell, you don't want to buy, because you don't know who's in control. They're playing tug of war literally right now. Because this zone, like I mentioned, is very, very, it's very, very significant. Just looking at past, if you look left, you can see anytime price got to the zone, a major move happened. So like here, this was last Friday. Not a major move, but it's decent. But then you look at times like right here. Let me see. Like here. Yeah, this is a good move. 50 pips. So I want to see how this is going to close on the 15. Let's see. So I'll give it 2 minutes. Yeah, this time I want to see the same stuff. Unintentional movement, sweep of the lows, extension, change the character, break the structure, complete the retracement, and then we can find our entry. Just like that. It's like all these pieces of the puzzle have to go together, in order for that's my strategy to come into play. and the strategy works. I didn't come up with the strategy. I learned from a lot of people. Like, this strategy, honestly, like, I didn't even like it. When I first was learning this strategy, I hated it because I already had my own developed strategy. And the only thing about my strategy is that it was just so inconsistent. It's like some weeks I would make like 10% in a day, and then other weeks I'd just be on a crazy losing streak. And that strategy wasn't really working for me. For the pair I was trading. Fortunately, I met some other traders, and there's a guy, who does this. He trades, and he had a really great strategy, and it took me a while to unlearn my strategy. That's something that's like not a handicap, but it's something that took me a long time to accept. Like ditching my strategy and coming, like learning everything from scratch again, pretty much. So the strategy I'm using now, I've been using it since like April, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really clean. It makes sense. It works, which is all that matters. It works, but then again, every strategy really works. It's just you have to stick to it. There's a million ways to trade. There's people that trade completely different than how I trade, and they still make a killing in the market. It's just sticking to your strategy and not just strategy hopping, and just you don't want to strategy hop. You don't want to neglect your game plan. You want to stick to your strategy, stick to your edge. And for me, like, so I've been on strategy for like 2 months. When I stick to this strategy, it works. It's nothing 100%, but out of 10 trades, I might hit for like four or five, which is a good percentage. Because if I'm risking 1% and aiming for 6, 7, 8%, because I hit that 4 times, 8%. What is that? 32%. And let's say I lose 6 times, minus 6%. I'm still up. I'm up crazy big. I'm up crazy. That's just giving an example of like why win rate doesn't really matter. You could be a 1-to-1 trader, like I said last week. You can be a 1-to-1 trader and go for 90%, 100%. But does that mean you're profitable? Not really, because you're gonna break even. You're gonna lose. You're gonna win. You're gonna lose. You're gonna win. So yeah, win rate doesn't really matter. So it's looking like price is having a tough time. Not a tough time, but it's not able to break through this. It tested it. It came down, but you never know. It could reject, collect some liquidity, and then push up. We just have to see the signs. We have to see the signals that price is giving us. Here we can see what we have. Our unintentional movement here. This is all unintentional movement. I'll mark this out actually. I'll say this is the unintentional movement. We'll have our sweep. Then we have our reveal the market intent, which is just this candle, these 2 candles. Then again, we have unintentional movement down here. But let's pay. I'm gonna pay attention to this because this also could be. I also can see this change of structure or change of character. I can see this was a change of character. And this looks like a break of structure down here. So BOS. And I want to find the low or the high that led to this low that causes BOS. And let me see on the fractals. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I'll go from the top of the zone to the bottom. So I want to see now the completion of the retracement. So we got an unintentional movement, our sweep, the extension. Then we see again unintentional movement, clearly the sweep, and then we're looking for the extension. But we're looking for price to come in this area. If we come in this area here, let's say it taps us in, we cover, let's say we just covered these highs. But then again, I want to see, okay, that this got swept. So there's still liquidity up here. I don't think it'll be swept, but I want to see maybe here get swept. Because this is liquidity. Maybe we see that get swept. Yeah. We have this intentional movement. Yeah, unintentional movement here. Yeah, I want to see a sweep of these highs. We can get a sweep of these highs. I think we can cover. Yeah, we can cover these highs here and take this to. Where did I say there was liquidity at? Yeah, I'll take it to here. But let's see how it plays out. What time is it? 1 o'clock is a good time. Yeah, so I want to see price come back here. If we can get up here, that'd be nice. But if not, even if we get up to here, I'll still take that trade because there's only 1 pip difference. I'm not going to sweat that. But yeah, it'll cover these highs. Yeah, we can see this. All this here is unintentional movement. So this needs to be swept. So I'm looking for a price to come and sweep all of this and then make our way, reveal itself, make our way to the downside. Because we already have our change of character. We have our break of structure. We have the high that led to the low that causes BOS. And now the market is inviting sellers. It's inviting people to come and sell. And this is where we want to stay out of it because from just having an eye for the market and just from experience, I know price has to come back up here to collect all this liquidity before it can make a major move down. So that's what I'm gonna wait on. And I'm just gonna set a little alarm for, let's say, 596. And let's see what GU is looking like. So GU is making its way down. I think, yeah, it's making its way down. Let's see what the dollar is doing. So the dollar has taken this liquidity here, here, and here, and there's a gap here which needs to be filled. So price has to come back up here, fill this gap, and that will result in strength in the dollar and weakness of the euro. So let's see. I want to see price come into this area here. So once it mitigates, this is my cue to hop in the trade. Because this is all unintentional movement. This is all movement that's just attracting early sellers. And the market, it just wants to come, sweep all these sellers, use them as fuel to come right back down. So I want to ride the wave, not go against it. So looking like a 1 to 4. It's not bad. If we do get tapped in. Let me see what the next cue. Nah, this is too far out. This should be good. This should be good because we'd also be targeting the Asian low. So I'll wait on this to play out. Now I want to see my unintentional movement, my sweep, and then my reveal of market intent. So here now we can kind of see unintentional movement being formed. And then a sweep of these highs, market intent, bring us back down. Just gotta be patient. Just gotta be patient. Price will definitely come up. It should come up. Nothing's a guarantee. It should come up to sweep these highs. It should mitigate that 1 minute supply, and then make its way back down. Yeah, you can kind of see right here. This is like the unintentional movement forming. Really no direction. That's why it's unintentional movement. That's why it's called that. Like when there's no market structure. It's on the 5. You can see it happening there. If we jump into the 3, 2, 1, it's a little bit more clear. This is the unintentional movement. So price would need to come and sweep all of these highs, and hopefully, potentially, this last high before I'd want to enter. Yeah, 5 minutes very clear. And it's kind of moving. It's moving side to side. So we'll wait and see what happens. So this candle should close in 2 minutes. In the meantime, I like to check out what the dollar is doing. So the dollar is going up as well. And the dollar does need to come and fill this gap up here. Gold is going down, dollar is going up. It's starting to come together now. So all this is still unintentional movement. You can see price moving side to side. I'll delete this so it's clear. This is unintentional movement here. This side to side action. We want to see all this get swept and then come down. Come back to our zone, right? The high that led to this low that caused this break of structure. We want to see this 1 minute get mitigated. And this could be a really big move just because price is coming off of this 4 hour. Maybe I should label that. Yeah, it is labeled 4 hour supply. Yeah, this is the 4 hour supply where in the past a lot of big moves did happen. Even here, this big candle came, broke through, and just kept pushing up. So always something to be aware of are these huge candles. So this should close any second now. See what it does. So good. It swept these lows, and now we should see a move to the upside to sweep these highs. It should do that. Yeah. Still kind of in this range. You can see just ranging. Yeah. I'll let it do its thing. Looking like price is gonna sweep these lows. So we have our unintentional movement. Now we have our liquidity sweep. Let's wait for the reveal of market intent. So this was the sweep. That was the sweep, and then let's wait for the reveal of market intent. I do still think price will come up here to sweep these lows because nothing has been swept. So if nothing hasn't been swept, it's kind of like the car running on E. It cannot make a big move to the downside without collecting all of this liquidity up here, especially this one. This one is just sitting here. It hasn't been swept yet. So it wouldn't really make sense for price to make a move all the way to the downside without having collected all this liquidity up here. So we're gonna wait, see what it does. Okay, what can we see here? So we had our unintentional movement, our sweep, our reveal of market intent. So market is intending to go up. But let's see, this should also be this also could be the repeat of the liquidity phases. So we could be just doing just market could be making an unintentional movement again, sweeping, and then showing and then extending. So let's see how this candle closes. 3-minute candle. It's 2-minute, 3-minute. Let's see. There is some trend line liquidity here. I'll label that. Let's see, I'll label that as trend line liquidity. So this is just another place where market can come and collect up here. So I'd like to see market come up, sweep this trend line liquidity, mitigate this or collect this liquidity, mitigate our 1-minute supply, cha-ching. We'll see though. Nothing is promised, nothing's guaranteed. That is just my my analysis, you know. See 1:30. I'll be back. I got an alarm set. What I miss? Okay. So looking like you know, sellers are being invited right now, and they're selling the market, but they're just gonna be liquidated. Yep. Because price hasn't swept any highs. It hasn't swept these highs here. Hasn't swept this high here. So, no liquidity, no fuel. That's the way it kind of works. You know, once price can sweep these highs, we have some trendline liquidity here. We have liquidity resting up here. Once it can collect all of that, it'll have enough fuel to make that push to the downside. Right now, it's just inviting early sellers into the market. Let's see, on a higher time frame, what can I see? Yeah. So price did get rejected at this 4 hour. Let's see. Let's see on the 15. How does it look? Yeah, it does look like sellers are trying to push the market down, as you can see, but buyers are still here. They're still in the market. They're not allowing this push down just yet. Yeah, so we can see now some more unintentional movement here developing on that 2-minute time frame. I'll just label this as the reveal of market intent. Cool. This is the unintentional movement. Yeah, and if price doesn't come and mitigate this 1 minute supply, it's no big deal. Sometimes no trading is actually trading as well. You know, you don't want to chase the market. You gotta let it come to you. And I'm waiting for this to come to me. Yeah. So price looks like it's sweeping these lows, but we still have liquidity resting up here. So I want to see price come and sweep these highs before it goes low. Yeah. I just don't believe price is gonna go down before it goes up. I really don't believe it can just keep dropping like this without grabbing liquidity up here. Let me zoom out. Yeah. Without price coming and grabbing liquidity up here, mitigating this 1 minute supply, I highly doubt it can make a move all the way to the downside. Yeah, this liquidity point right here needs to get swept. So I'm gonna clean this up a bit. It's kind of getting a little too messy on the chart. We still have our change of character and our BOS. We have our high that led to the low that caused a BOS, which left us our 1 minute supply. We have trendline liquidity up here, and we have liquidity sitting up here. So I want to see price come, mitigate, as I mentioned, mitigate, and then make its way to the downside. So we'll see. It's 144. I usually like to close out by 2 if I don't find anything, and then wake up for a New York session. So I'll give it another 15 minutes. Yeah, if I don't see nothing in 15, then again, I know my trading window is from 1 to 3. But just the closer you get to 3 a.m., it's like price drag. Price just goes slow. So yeah, if I don't get tapped in, it's okay. The analysis was correct. Just the setup wasn't there. So all good. Yeah, at 2 I'll shut it down, and then if I can wake up for New York, that'd be great. New York is in 4 hours. Sleep for 4 hours, get up, do it again. Yeah. Get ready for work. Take care of my responsibilities before work. It's good though. It's part of the grind. Let's see, price on the 15. Yes, a lot of selling pressure here. Then again, like it did reject off this 4-hour supply. So a big move is expected So just gonna be patient. Maybe New York gives us that opportunity to go short, but right now London is not presenting that to me. And there's no news. There's no really uh, there's really nothing that can move the market right now. So probably gonna just move kind of weird for now, but no problem. And I'll just keep my alarm set. So this alarm here is just whenever price gets close to here, it'll trigger. It'll give me a notification on my phone just saying prices in the area, and if I get that notification, I'm just gonna sell because I already did my analysis. I'm not really waiting for anything. I'm really just waiting for the completion of this retracement because it's already given us uh, our change of character, our break of structure, um, and then now we are just, and then it gave us the reveal the market intent, right? Reveal the market intent, change of character, break of structure. We have our unintentional movement, our sweep, reveal the market intent. This is unintentional movement again. We'll get a sweep of these highs, reveal the market intent. So once it gets up here, I'm just looking to sell. I'm not really looking for change of character BOS again. Unless we don't get that and it goes into New York session, then I'll be looking for that same setup again. Same market cycle, same liquidity cycle. Yep. Let me see how other pairs are doing. So it looks like GU is making its way down. The Dixie, the US dollar index, the Dixie is making its way up. Gold should be going down, which it is. Yep. Yeah, maybe we get this move in New York. We'll see. But I'm gonna wait till 2, and then if I don't see it by 2 o'clock, gotta shut it down. I usually don't find trades honestly after 2 a.m. And if I do end up missing the opportunity during that 2 hour to 3 hour window, New York always gives you a new opportunity to enter again. So no stress. price is steadily climbing. We need to get at least 8 more pips to enter. So let's see what price is doing on a 3-minute. It's looking like it's making its way to the upside, but you never know. You can see some unintentional movement here. We do see a sweep of these highs, and let's wait for that market intent. Yeah, we have an extension to the downside. That's what it's looking like. Yeah, well, I have a alarm set on my phone, so if I do hear the notification, the price coming into my 1-minute supply, I will take that trade. But if not, I will wait for London. So I'll close out in 4 minutes. And that would be that. Yeah, without any sweeps of these highs, price doesn't have the fuel to come down here. That's why we have to wait for this retracement to be completed before we enter. Not a lot of buying pressure up here, so I'll call it a night. I'm not gonna force any trade right now. It's 2 a.m. So I will try to wake up from New York. Let me see, is there any news tomorrow? I don't think so. Today's Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. No news.